presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are LA.
You could not ask for a more perfect day to celebrate July 4th. Happy Independence Day, everybody. Interleague action is over. Back to the American League, and the Detroit Tigers are in town for the first of three tonight. Hi, everybody. From inside the Big A, we welcome you back to Angels Baseball here on Fox Sports West. I'm Victor Rojas, along with my partner, Mark Gubser. And I mentioned that interleague play is over because the Angels fared fairly well. 13-5 throughout interleague play. They start tonight atop the American League West, tied with the Texas Rangers. And over the last couple of weeks, Gooby, it's been a fun team to watch, both offensively as well as the pitching.
Yeah, Victor, exactly. They've been doing everything right as far as the offensive side, the pitching side, the fielding side. That's why they were consistent. It's all about winning series for Mike Socha. They've won 6 straight series, most since 09 in July. So look for this club to continue to play that way. Don't think of sweeps. Yes, it's great to get a sweep like they did against the Nationals. It's all about playing consistent baseball. When they do that, they have a tendency to go out there and play much better. Don't look ahead. Play in the moment.
Well, we didn't broadcast the game last night, but yesterday morning, Major League Baseball making the announcement that the Halos have 2 representatives going to Phoenix, Arizona. Jared Weaver, which was the obvious choice, and Howie Kendrick, a surprise choice, but a good one.
Well, 2 guys that certainly deserve to be in the All-Star game, but without the way these 2 guys have played or pitched, they might not be in this position to be tied for first place. Jared Weaver's been outstanding. You can make an argument, him and Justin Verlander, the 2 very best pitchers in the American League. Great opportunity for him to start that American League, for the American League in the All-Star game. Of course, Howie Kendrick's been swinging the bat extremely well. That inside approach. Just a couple of years ago, you remember, Victor, he was sent down to AAA to get that swing together. Here now, all of a sudden, he's going to be an all-star hitting the ball very well. The batting average, the run score, and, of course, the extra base hits.
Well, the Halos are ready for game number 1 against the Detroit Tigers. Joel Pinheiro against Charlie Furbush on 4th of July here at the Big A. Just about ready for baseball, so sit back and relax. Lineups and first pitch when we return. Uncensored. See what they're saying at MySoCalHyundai.com. And by CarMax. Now more than ever, the smart choice is CarMax. Back out here at the Big A. Tigers and the Angels. Game number 1 of a 3-game set. 7 more games left on this homestand before the All-Star break. 3 against the Tigers and 4 against the Seattle Mariners. Tonight's broadcast is on AFM, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces, serving in 175 countries, as well as aboard ships at sea. They're watching around the world in Iraq, Germany, Italy, Southwest Asia, South Korea, and Japan. And on this Independence Day, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for providing us the freedom that we get to enjoy on a daily basis. Thank you for your service. Let's take a look at the lineup for Jim Leyland's Detroit Tigers. They're in second place in the American League Central, a half game back in the Cleveland Indians. Austin Jackson will lead things off. He's in center. Brennan Bosch, he's a Southern California native. He's in left field. Magli Ordonez in right. Miguel Cabrera, the first baseman and cleanup hitter. Victor Martinez is the DH. Johnny Peralta's been red hot. He's the shortstop. Alex Avila making the All-Star team for the first time this season. He's behind the plate. Ryan Rayburn is at second. And Brandon Inge will bat ninth and play third base. Taking on Joel Pinheiro, who comes into this one with a 3-3 mark at a 4.14 ERA.
Well, the key is always for Pinheiro is working that fastball down. This Tiger lineup is a very powerful lineup. It's been swinging the bat exceptionally well of late. So if you can work down in the strike zone, be aggressive, then start expanding the strike zone away, get a lot of ground balls, he should be successful. Utilize that curveball and split finger fastball also.
Tigers at 45 and 40. There's the skipper, the veteran, Jim Leyland. Always, there's no question. He's a joy to talk to before games for sure, and after games if the Tigers win.
Yeah,
Tigers lose, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, but he's fun to talk to during batting practice. He goes, hey, by the way, guys, can you move out of the way? I'm going to start hitting ground balls.
Jackson fouls one off to the right, and it's no balls and 2 strikes on the center fielder, who comes in hitting .248 with 4 home runs and 23 runs batted in. Speedy center fielder can track him down with the best of them. Oh, 2 pitches down low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. This is the Tigers ball club that, they could just flat out mash. A .268 average is second best in the American League. 6th in home runs with 86. 4th in runs with 390 scored. Jackson takes a breaking ball that was on the outside corner, but not called by the home plate umpire, Angel Hernandez.
Well, that was a pretty good spot. She establishing that breaking ball early in the game for Pinheiro. Very big pitch for him.
Off speed out toward right center field, chasing Borges back. Shy of the track, and now stepping onto the cinders, makes the catch for the first out. Defensively for the Halos, Vernon Wells in left, Peter Borges in center, Torrey Hunter back in the starting lineup in right field. Kayaspo and Ibar on the left side, Kendrick and Trumbull on the right side, and Mathis behind the dish.
And Howie Kendrick back to his normal position, his favorable position, that second base spot. He's played some left field, obviously 15 games, and some first base. Been very good as far as turning double plays. Excellent to the glove side, and been very good as far as improving on the backhand play up the middle also.
Here's Brennan Bosch, who takes the breaking ball down low. Bosch has got a 9-game hitting streak, a .310 average, 12 home runs, and 40 runs batted in. He's been on fire since the beginning of June. Takes a strike on the outside corner. Since June the 3rd, Bosch hitting .404. It's kind of an odd sequence right there.
I'm almost waiting to get back to some more pine tar or something. And Angel Hernandez says, you're already in the batter's box. Stay here.
Yeah, that's one of those speed-up rules that they incorporated a couple of years ago. As Bosch grounds one sharply over to short, Ibar's got it. And there are 2 outs. The Bosch with 8 home runs, 15 runs batted in since the start of June. Pretty good numbers for a number 2 hitter.
Talking to Gene Lamont, their third base coach, about that, he says he's much more comfortable up in that part of the lineup when he's in the role behind Miguel Cabrera, where he's forced into protecting him. He tries to put too much pressure on himself, but his swing has been excellent of late in that spot in the lineup.
So 2 outs and nobody on base. Maglia Ordonez steps in. He's the right fielder. Swings the first pitch toward the middle. Howie Kendrick with a diving stop. And the All-Star retires Ordonez as the Angels retire the Tigers 1-2-3 to start this game. We head to the bottom of the first, scoreless. In a scoreless tie, Howie Kendrick telling Jared Weaver, why wouldn't Ron Washington pick me?
You see that kind of range I have?
Yeah.
That
makes
no
sense.
problem.
Yeah, perfect sense. The Angels 3 games over 500 at 44 and 41. Have Eric Ibar leading things off at shortstop. Torrey Hunter is in right field. Bobby Abreu, the DH. Vernon Wells, the cleanup hitter, in left. Howie Kendrick at second. Mark Trumbo's at first base. Alberto Callasco getting the start at third. He'll bat seventh. Peter Borges batting eighth and playing center field. Jeff Mathis doing the catching, and he will bat ninth. Taking on the 24-year-old from South Portland, Maine, by the name of Charlie Furbush.
Yeah, Furbush is a guy that doesn't necessarily overpower you with a fastball, but he spots it very well. 88 to 91 range, very good breaking ball, solid changeup too. Throws a lot of strikes, works quickly, knows how to pitch.
Furbush in his brief big league career, 1-1 mark, a 2.49 ERA, 21 and 2/3 innings, 19 hits allowed. He has struck out 17 and walked just 9. Ibar stepping in, hitting .277, 5 home runs and 35 driven home. Remember a couple of days ago against Clayton Kershaw, with the struggles that Ibar had this year against lefties, he fared fairly well. A couple of hits, 2 runs batted in, a couple of runs scored. That pitch misses inside, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. The Tigers, as a staff, as we pointed out, their offensive prowess, the pitching has been a different story. They are 12th in the American League in staff ERA as Ibar fouls this one back. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Staff ERA of 4.39. Things have gotten so bad for the Tigers from a pitching standpoint. They decided to make a change yesterday after their game against the San Francisco Giants. They relieved Rick Knapp of his duties as the pitching coach. And Jeff Jones, who was the bullpen coach, is now in the dugout as the pitching coach. Ibar chopping this one to the right side. A foot race between Furbush and Ibar, and he is out at first.
That was pretty close.
Very close.
You know, Furbush has to get that foot on the base before Ibar's coming across the base himself. High flip by Cabrera. Your angle right here to be able to see who got to the base first. Wow, that was a lot closer.
Yeah. Angel Campos making the call at first.
And Furbush did a nice job of getting that foot down because that was a high toss from Cabrera.
Here's Torrey Hunter back in the starting lineup. He takes upstairs for ball 1. There's Angel Hernandez calling the balls and strikes. You got another Angel at first base, Angel Campos. Joe West, the crew chief, is at second base. Boy, the svelte one now. He's lost a lot of weight. And Chad Fairchild, of no relation to Morgan, is at third base. 2 balls, no strikes on Torrey Hunter, hitting .239, 8 home runs, 39 runs batted in. Torrey missing some time after getting drilled on the left hand. Hits this one out to straightaway center field. This one's got a chance to go. Gone! Big fly for Torrey Hunter. His 9th of the year. The Angels take an early 1-0 lead.
I'll go back to the starting lineup for Torrey. We talked to him before the game today. He said he felt really good, a little sore at times. That's why you see him trying to get that bat head out quickly and crunch that ball up in the rock piles here in center field to get those fireworks started early today.
40th run batted in for Torrey Hunter. It showed us that in the batting glove, he's got just a little bit of a padding there, but nothing major. Kind of like Jeff Bagwell for a number of years got hit on his left hand. He kind of developed a big, thick pad for the top of the batting glove. Nothing like that for Torrey as Bobby takes down and away for ball 1. But he got full extension.
Boy, fastball right down the heart of the plate, no doubt about it. I mean, that has some serious distance. Well up in the rock piles.
Angels' 66th home run of the season. 1-0 to Abreu. He takes inside, 2 balls and no strikes.
I mean, look, when the Angels have gotten on this pretty good roll, they've been hitting some home runs of late. It's a big part of the offense for any team, but in particular for this club right now, to be able to get that run across on one swing instead of try to manufacture with 3 or 4 hits.
2 balls and 1 strike. Abreu with a 6-game hitting streak, hitting .289 with 3 home runs and 34 runs batted in. Bobby had that double to start the rally for the Angels yesterday against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Eventually scored on the ground out by Vernon Wells to tie the game up at 1 apiece as Bobby takes a big rip. And as the count even now at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Thirteenth appearance for Charlie Furbush, first start of the season. Call from AAA Toledo on May the 21st. Bobby lays off the breaking pitch and it's a full count. Torrey Hunter putting the Angels up 1-0 with his solo shot. Abreu, the emergency hack there on 3-2, goes down swinging for out number 2.
It's going to be pretty tough against the left-handed batter. Furbush with that fastball, and then of course he's able to throw that sweeping slider. 92-mile-an-hour fastball, had some quick get up on it.
So 2 outs, bases clear. Here comes Vernon Wells.
Different thing for Charlie Furbush is the fact he's way on the third base side of the pitching rubber. A lot of times left-handed pitchers are just the opposite side. Throw across his body, just give him a little better deception. Slings the ball in there, and at the very end, that ball comes out of his hand very well through the strike zone. Certainly this part of the pitching rubber where right-handed pitchers will be standing.
First pitch to Vernon was a breaking ball, but misses low. Wells went 1 for 11 in that series against the Dodgers. The one, a home run, has 11. Overall, hitting .210. 29 runs batted in, 4 doubles, 1 triple. Swing and a miss. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. That home run allowed by Furbush here in the first inning. His 4th now in 22 innings of work. Guy who's putting up terrific numbers down in the minor leagues. 1-1 pitch in the air, left center field. Peralta going out. Austin Jackson comes in. He'll make the catch. That will end the inning. But the Angels strike first as Torrey Hunter drives one to dead central. His 9th home run of the season. 1 of the books. Angels on top 1-0. AT&T. By your Southern California Ford dealers. Visit us today and trade up to Ford. And by Jack in the Box. For a limited time, Jack's really big chicken sandwich combo is back for only $3.99 plus tax at participating restaurants. Top of the second, Angels on top 1-0. Miguel Cabrera swinging at the first pitch. Fouls one off to the right for strike one. Tigers setting up 4, 5, and 6. Cabrera, Martinez, and Peralta against Joel Pinheiro, who had a 1-2-3 first inning. One fly ball out, a couple of ground outs. Cabrera, an all-star yet again, hitting .328. 17 home runs. Rolls this one over to second base, and it's easy out. Number 1 to start the second inning.
Always a good sign, too, for Pinheiro. 3 straight ground ball outs after that fly ball out to center field. Pinheiro's on a roll. He's working that slider down, curveball down, split finger, and, of course, that two-seam fastball very effectively.
Pinheiro's coming off back-to-back no decisions. Faced the Nationals here on the 28th of June. Went 5 2/3. Gave up 4 runs, 3 earned on 8 hits. Tonight the Angels scored 8 unanswered runs, but got the big ND, or spit the hook, as you like to say.
That's the one time you don't mind a no decision, when you can spit the hook. You don't like it the other way around when you're leading and it goes away from you.
The other no decision coming against the Florida Marlins, giving up 4 runs at 6 innings of work. Facing Victor Martinez, a switch hitting designated hitter, sometimes catcher as he takes a strike. Martinez hitting .333, 6 home runs, 46 runs batted in. He's got 21 doubles. Very good numbers for Martinez. Takes the breaking ball low. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Tigers with 4 All-Stars. Mentioned Miguel Cabrera, Alex Avila, their catcher, his first bid as an All-Star. Jose Valverde, their closer, and Justin Verlander, their number 1 starters. Martinez puts this one out to center. Peter Borges to his right will make the grab. And there are 2 outs. Take a look at our Hyundai key to the game.
Well, Tory Hunter certainly will not go away mad. Motley Crue come out. The bottom line is you're a hitter. When you get yourself in a good fastball count, don't let that pitch go by. Mickey Hatch has been preaching that for the last 2 to 3 weeks. Get yourself a fastball, drive the fastball. Don't get upset with yourself if you miss that pitch. Take advantage of that opportunity and don't go away mad.
Peralta to plate. The shortstop takes the pitch down in the dirt. Victor Martinez, by the way, is one of 5 guys that are up for that 34th and final voting. Very respectable numbers. And there's Paul Konerko, Alex Gordon.
Paul Konerko.
It's got to be Paul Konerko. Martinez has similar numbers. I think Ben Zobrist is thrown in the mix there. That's kind of surprising, hitting .256 for the Tampa Bay Rays. Nice guy. All-Star, not so much.
Versatile player, but yeah, I mean, it's all about numbers, the All-Star game. Who's putting up the best numbers at that point of the year? Speaking of numbers, Peralta's had some great numbers against the Halos throughout his career. Be careful with him.
Pinheiro being careful with him. Is at 3 balls and a strike. Peralta's got a 10-game hitting streak, 311 on the season. 14 home runs and 48 runs batted in. Pulls this one to third, and it's a one-hopper that Callaspo has to fire across the diamond. It's another 1-2-3 inning. We head to the bottom of the second with the Angels on top 1-0. 1-0 lead before the game. Ceremonial first pitches. And there he is, Ken Force, the Angels' assistant general manager, getting the honor today to throw out the ceremonial first pitch. Okay, we've had a lot of guys up here as Kenny joins us here in the booth, and everybody has complained about the Letterman's jacket. The baseball's too light.
Come on,
you're
excuses,
a crusty veteran, and I mean
excuses.
that in a good way. You threw a strike.
Crusty is good. Yeah, that's a good term for me. Crusty.
How have you been?
Really good.
Yeah.
It was a real thrill throwing that pitch out there. You know, it's the first thrown pitch that I've had with my artificial shoulder. So hey, it worked out good.
That's
Here,
good.
Kobe, you're up next. Huh?
Yeah. I was going to ask you, how did that feel? You might have been able to be still hanging around if we could be able to have that surgery early on.
I don't know. No, that surgery wouldn't help. Other than getting rid of the pain, you know, it worked out good for me.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that too, because there's constant barking going on his shoulder over here.
Well, when you can't sleep at night, then that's when you know it's time to go in and see Dr. DeBoni, and they'll fix you up real good.
Nice. Nothing else? No artificial knees, no hips?
Oh,
nothing?
a couple of plates in the feet, but, you know, that's nothing to talk about.
It's standard stuff.
It's 16 years, you know, on that mound. I don't know how many pitches, how many times you warm up between your starts or between the relief appearances that I had. I closed for a number of years, 6, 7, 8 years, so it adds up.
Yeah, we were talking to Tim Sama before the game down on the field. We're talking about his last couple of years, 05, 06, right around there, and he started breaking down. He wasn't feeling it was difficult for him to kind of get it going. He's looking at Howie Kendrick next to him. Wait a second, I'm 13, 14 years older than this guy. Why does he have a bounce in his step in mid-July? I'm about ready to get done.
Exactly, and that's how it works. You know, and you could tell in spring training, too. I know my last spring training, just trying to make the laps around the field, and here comes Mike Witt, you know, his first year in the major leagues, and he's like lapping me, you know, and I'm trying my best, but what can you do? You know, you got a 39-year-old body, and that's the way it goes.
Well, I'll never forget my first spring training camp at Big League Camp. Gaylord Perry there, Steve Ranko, and Larry Gore and Paul Splittorff. I remember doing the sprint work with them. I'm running pretty fast, and they go, hey, son, you there? And I'm like, oh, yeah, wow. They're going to actually talk to me. They go, hey, if you show us up one more time, you're not going to see your uniform tomorrow. So you better relax and just do what we're doing. We've been around a long time, and there's a reason why we've been around a long time.
Exactly, and I've been around that lap where you have the four backstops around the stadium entrance, and you see the old veterans. We're out there struggling. The old veterans at that time, they were hiding behind these dugout things, and then the backstop, and then as you come around the second time, they join you, and they're sprinting out in front like they're real crisp and fresh, and you knew darn well, you know, you already had 2 laps on them. So,
what do you think of this ball club over the last couple of weeks? 13-5 through interleague.
You know, I was over at the Dodgers, playing the Dodgers over there in Chavez, and I was just hoping we could get to 500. I figured that once we get to 500, we can turn this thing around. We got Wells and Torrey Hunter. You know, these guys are not having the seasons that they normally do. If they go from now to what their season's averages are, they're going to carry this club for the next half, and that's what we're looking forward to, and we think we got a good chance of doing that.
The starting pitching is certainly
starting
lived up.
pitching's been magnificent. Yeah, and our bullpen too. Downs has just done a great job for us in that setup role. I don't know where we'd be without him. So
yeah, I was going to ask you about that too, because you said you were down there in the bullpen for a while in your career, but you have a veteran like Scott Downs who's been so effective, and he's helping out all these young arms, because we have a ton of young arms down in that bullpen.
We do, and he's a stabilizing factor. You know, all you have to do is watch a guy like him. He didn't even have to say anything. They just watch him, and there's so much you can learn from him.
Cayaspo goes down swinging after that disputed foul ball. Kenny Force, always a pleasure.
Thank you.
You got it. Ken Force kind enough to join us here in the booth through 2. Angels still on top 1-0. Up 1-0, courtesy of the Torrey Hunter home run in the first inning. And our thanks once again to Ken Force, the assistant general manager for the Angels. I'd like to ask him a little bit about the draft. Some of the guys that the Angels have signed already. Guys that progressed from last year. But quick 1-2-3 second inning. Charlie Furbush picking up his second strikeout. That of Alberto Callaspo. Here in the third, Pinheiro facing the bottom third of the order. Avila, Rayburn, and Inge. Fastball is in for a strike. It's 0-2.
Well, that was some tremendous movement on that pitch right there from Pinheiro. That two-seam fastball starting at the hip of Avila and getting the inside corner. Nothing you could do as a hitter on that pitch.
Avila hitting .298, 10 home runs, 46 runs batted in. The son of Al Avila, the assistant general manager of the Detroit Tigers. Works very closely with Dave Dombrowski, the team president, general manager.
Well, I was watching an interview yesterday by Detroit Tiger Baseball Network, and he was just so excited about it. You know, can you imagine that, finding out that morning that your son had made the All-Star team? Phenomenal feeling for him. And this, now certainly he's had a great start of a season this year, in his second full year, getting an opportunity to play. Been great. Throwing up base stealers, hitting the ball well.
You imagine that the mindset for him in the offseason as the Tigers signed Victor Martinez to a deal. You're like, oh, here we go. Playing time, sharing. This one's bounced up the line past Trumbo. It'll go for extra bases. Torrey has to get over there, and Avila will stop at second with a leadoff double. I think perhaps Mark didn't gauge the speed of that ground ball as well as he should have. It looked like the way he broke to his left that he had a beat on it.
Almost like he got caught in between hops on which way to go after that baseball. Go up on it or wait back and wait for the hop to get to him. Ball skipped by him underneath the glove. You can tell by his reaction running after that baseball. He thought he was in position to make the play, but it gets by him for a double.
First base runner for the Tigers. Matheson, Pinheiro get together on the sides, especially with the man at second base, making sure everything is changed up as Ryan Rayburn, the second baseman, comes to the plate. .206 average for Rayburn, 7 home runs and 29 runs batted in. Callaspo playing in on the grass. Rayburn fouls it off to the right.
And you can see there's approach right there by Rayburn. He's trying to hit the ball to the right side of the infield. And inside out, even on a breaking pitch, it was on the inside part of the plate. Very difficult pitch to be able to hit that way. If Pinheiro throws that sinker down and in on him.
This down low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Rayburn, when he's been in the big leagues with the Tigers, has been fairly consistent. A down year for him now this season. Last year hit .280, 15 home runs and 62 runs batted in. The year before, .291. And in both seasons getting into 113 games. That's a ball and 2 strikes this year, just hitting .206.
How effective that sinker is down and in. It's so hard to be able to hit the other way. Big spot. Anytime you give up a leadoff double, as a pitcher, your first mindset is to try to keep him at second with that 1 out. Then a ground ball after that advance, that's fine because there's 2 outs, you get through the inning.
Breaking pitch, he went around. They just needed to wait till my voice got down to Angel Campos for him to ring it up. Angel Hernandez apparently did not see that from behind the plate. But Campos goes down swinging for the first out. Really strikeout for Pinheiro.
Sequence too from Pinheiro there. No question he crossed the plate with that swing on the breaking ball in the dirt. After that sinking fastball down and in, went with the curveball. Good plane on both those pitches.
There's Brandon Edge, the third baseman. Edge hitting .199 with a home run and 17 runs batted in.
Brandon Inge has always been one of those guys that will chase breaking pitches out of the strike zone, but very quick as far as the fastball.
0-1. Went around. And it's 0-2. Edge hitting .247 last season with 13 home runs and 70 runs batted in. Career high in home runs, 27. He's done that twice in 06 as well as 09. The second round pick by the Tigers back in '98. He is, I guess, one of the elder statesmen, especially guys that come up through the system, as this one's looped out to short, and Ibar will put it away for out number 2. For 2 outs, man at second, Avila remaining at second base. Austin Jackson will step to the plate. Hey kids, tomorrow the Angels are taking on the Tigers once again. Tomorrow night's game is at 7:05, and finally the day has arrived. All kids 2 to 18 will receive the world famous sock rally monkey courtesy of Hilton Suites Anaheim Orange. Purchase your tickets today at the Angel Stadium ticket office or online at angels.com.
I'm sleeping here overnight just to make sure I get here. Be here.
In your sock rally monkey onesie?
In my onesie. Ready.
Jackson fouls back the first pitch, and it is 0-1.
Sock rally onesie. Oh, be quite comfortable.
That's a great look. Supposed to be toasty again tomorrow. I guess by the end of the week, it's supposed to get back down to normal. Mentioned just one more week of baseball before the All-Star break. All-Star game a week from tomorrow, a week from tonight, the home run derby. 0-1 pitch. It's in the dirt.
Still like your idea of them bringing back the skills contest at the All-Star game.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun. Watch the guys, the All-Stars perform, running, throwing, hitting. For accuracies on their throws from the infield and outfield.
One pitch. Just off the corner. 2 balls and a strike. Jackson 0 for 1 hit a fly ball to center field leading off the game. I still think that the All-Star break should be a mandatory 4 days. Everybody gets 4 days off so that you maximize the exposure of the week for all of the events. 2-1. He went around 2-2. And I say that because Sunday night, you've got Sunday night baseball, right? Well, Sunday night's when they play the Futures game, or the Sunday afternoon, and then they've got the celebrity softball game. So it kind of gets lost in the shuffle. Just do that on Monday, the home run derby on Tuesday, the game on Wednesday. You've got a travel day on Thursday, and then everybody, as far as the schedule, picks up on Friday with a 3-game setter if you've got that wraparound series into Monday.
Yeah, it'd be nice for everyone to see that Futures game. That is an outstanding baseball.
Full count as that pitch trickles off the body of Matheson up the third base line. But
don't think that's going to change, though. Although, a couple years ago, they did have a 4-day break at the All-Star time. So that would be good to do that. Plus, you get some guys who can be able to. It's difficult when you, especially if the game's going to be in Arizona, for teams that are going to open up back east. It's a difficult trip back out that next morning, and you get ready for the game the following day.
Jackson takes outside. Matheson, Pinheiro, and a lot of the Angels thought that was a strike. Taking a couple of steps towards the dugout. It's a walk, the first issued by Joel.
There's been some pretty good pitches so far that Pinheiro's not getting the benefit of the call.
So 2 on, 2 outs for Brennan Bosch. The left fielder, 0 for 1. He grounded out to short in the first inning. Bosch, a 3rd round pick by the Tigers in 2006. Breaks his bat, rolls one toward the middle. Howie had to go to his right. He'll retire Bosch for the 3rd out. The Tigers get a couple of men on and leave them stranded. We head to the bottom of the 3rd, but the Angels still leading it.
Afghanistan with the 4th Brigade Combat Team. I just want to say, go Angels! Woo!
Gotta like it.
Big Angel fan.
Absolutely.
4th of July. One of my all-time favorite holidays.
The Angels honoring all servicemen and women in attendance, those that currently serving or have served before the game, asking them to stand up. A fantastic round of applause. Here's Borges swinging first pitch, pulls it through the left side. A lead-off single for Peter Borges. Came in batting .265, and that's the Angels' second hit of the ball game. Brings up Jeff Mathis.
Might see some action right here, whether it's going to be a bunt, hit and run. Try to add on. Especially since Torrey Hunter hit that home run in the first inning. Trying to keep getting some runs across. This Tiger offense, you want to try to distance yourself from them because they can score in bunches.
Borges with 9 stolen bases on the season. He's been caught 4 times. Mathis swinging through the off-speed pitch. And it's 0-1. Peter picked up his 9th a couple of nights ago. Avila's done a nice job of throwing out would-be base stealers, 15 of 51.
Bush has a good pickoff move too. He has 1 pickoff so far this season. No one's been successful stealing against him yet. Good move to first. That's why a hit and run's more successful, or a potential bunt to advance a base runner.
Oh, 2. Borges still over at first base. The Angels tied for 4th in the American League in stolen bases this season, 70 stolen bases. And as a team have been caught 26 times. A throw to first. Peter just a couple of steps off the bag, is able to get back easily. Love the fact that we're scrolling all the messages to loved ones overseas, the military at the bottom of your screen.
That's great stuff right there.
0-2. Mathis fouls it back. Count remains at no balls, 2 strikes. Jeff losing the handle of the bat.
Elevate the fastball. It slips right out of the hand of Mathis. Just look back to make sure that hopefully it didn't hit the catcher or the umpire. That's what it was. But he was thinking the thought process. Being a catcher, you're always thinking of protecting your fellow catcher and umpire.
Peter takes off. The 0-2 is inside. The throw down is out of down. Make that 10 stolen bases for Borges. Had a great job going on first movement.
Great jump, and that's 7 straight successful steals for Peter Borges. Well, that's an outstanding jump. Vila had no chance at all to throw him out. Most times against a left-handed pitcher who has a good move, if you read right and go on first move, but he's going home, you're going to be successful. There's no way the catcher's going to have time to throw it out, because generally they're going to be around 1.35 to 1.4 to home, which is a pretty slow time. You want to be about 1.2 to 1.25 as far as your times home.
2 balls, 2 strikes. One time through the order now, we've seen several right-handed batters here against Charlie. And you don't see too many guys fooled, and I guess to the contrary, you see guys very comfortable. They must be seeing the baseball very well. And you pointed out, he gets the fastball up there in the low 90s, could run it up there to 92, 93. Got a couple of strikeouts. He's got 3 strikeouts now. But you're not seeing a lot of, granted, Clayton Kershaw in a different level than Charlie Ferguson, but you're not seeing a lot of right-handed batters fooled or even buckling on a breaking pitch. They're kind of getting a good read from the hand.
And Furbush has given up 4 home runs to right-handed batters, 0 to left-handed batters. So right-handers, when he's following through, the ball's coming out of the hand, you got a better opportunity to see the baseball out of his hand longer than you would be, say, a left-handed batter. So they're seeing the ball well, reading it, but he does have some sharp break to that slider as Mathis swung over top of that pitch. But the fastball is a little different story.
Borges taking off. The throw is on the foul side of the bag. And he picks up his 11th bag, and he's over at third base with one out.
Well, Brandon Inge saved the run there also. Well, everybody's surprised. Peter Borges going, easily going to be sliding in there being successful. But Brandon Inge, you can make an argument, one of the better fielding third basemen, not only just in the American League, but all of baseball. Saves a run, diving. As Avila's throw gets away, he stumbles as he tries to go around Eric Ibar to make that throw.
So the Tigers bring their infield in now with Borges at third base. Ibar with a 1-ball, no strike count. The Angels, with Bennett scoring position in the series against the Dodgers, 3 for 21, taking 2 of 3. Better against the Nationals. Ibar fouls this one back. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Angels were 8 for 28 against the Nats.
He had 3 hits yesterday.
Yep. Angels yesterday just 0 for 1.
Yeah.
With Bennett scoring position.
Yeah, not many opportunities yesterday, but that big home run by Russell Branyan.
Yep. First as an Angel. On the homestand, the Halos hitting just 224 in those situational moments. Bennett scoring position, but still 4 and 2. Took 2 of 3 from the Nats, 2 of 3 from the Dodgers. 1-1 pitch. 1 and 2. That fastball riding up and in on Ibar. Ibar grounded out to Cabrera at first base in the first inning, so he's 0 for 1. Torrey Hunter then followed up with his 9th home run of the season in the first inning. Giving the Halos a 1-0 lead. He stands on deck. Borges with a leadoff single and a couple of stolen bases, stands at third now. Pulled foul.
You really see the contact play being on once again for the Angels all the time with 1 out. No outs, a little different story, but we're just straight away. As soon as that ball's hit on the ground, he's going. Trying to force an infielder to make a perfect throw to the plate. Mike Scioscia preaches that throughout the entire organization, from rookie ball all the way up to the major league level. That's why you see the club, even the Dodger series, they were trying the same thing, but even at Dodger Stadium, they weren't quite as efficient on the contact plays as the Angels are.
Inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Like that from the left-hander, willing to come inside the right-handed batters. We've seen that tonight. The Tiger staff, a close-knit group.
There's not a lot of room, not a lot of elbow room there.
2-2 on its way. That's a balk. It is 2-0 Angels. That's one way to get them home.
Is that manufacturing the run?
That's single stolen base balk.
Well, you can see right here, it looks like his cleats got caught. And at that point, as a pitcher, you almost have to let the baseball go regardless. Because if it goes over to catcher's head, it's going to be a wild pitch, but you just throw it high enough, far enough away, and hope that your catcher can catch that baseball. You prevent that from happening.
Was that Tim Hudson that did it the other day for the Atlanta Braves? Chipper Jones just cracking up over at third base.
Yeah, that was pretty funny, though.
This one costing the Tigers a run. So base is clear with 1 out. The 2-2. Full count. Hunter on deck.
Looked like he wasn't real comfortable going through his follow-through again on that pitch. A lot of pitchers dig that hole in front of the pitching rubber. Sometimes you get the cleat caught.
This one back up the middle. Knocks it down. 2 outs.
Now it's time for a Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. Welcome back. Torrey Hunter gets some fastball right down the heart of the plate. and hits it into the rock pile. Corey Hunter with his 9th home run of the season. Welcome back with that swing. And that was our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast.
Did not get cheated. 9th home run of the season. His 40th run batted in.
Said, I'm not going to take a chance of you throwing a cut fastball into my hand. I'm going to get the bat head out and crush it.
Takes outside for ball 1. First home run since May the 30th. That was against the Kansas City Royals.
That was Memorial Day?
Yeah,
Memorial Day weekend.
Multi-homer game for Torrey on the 30th.
He likes holidays, I think.
Yeah, it must be. Quick, somebody give me his numbers on holidays. He went 3 for 5 in that game with 4 runs batted in. Two balls and a strike. The question is, how many pitches do you think the Tigers allow Furbush to throw in this start, being his first in the big leagues?
Well, he was a starter throughout his time down in the minor leagues, but again, you have to make that adjustment to pitching out of the bullpen. I'd imagine they're probably keeping him around that 85 to 95 range.
13 career runs batted in on 4th of July. See, look at that. You just ask, boom. It's like I dream of Genie.
So he likes fireworks.
Down low, he walked him. First walk issued by the left-hander to go with the 3 strikeouts. And really, not a bad idea, considering you've got Abreu coming up. Bobby did not look comfortable at the plate in the first inning when he struck out against him. 1 of 3 strikeouts. All 3 have been swinging. That quick throw over there. Torrey's back easily, mentioning that Furbush is started down in the minor leagues. He was leading the International League. AAA Toledo in strikeouts, 55 when he had his contract purchased. Eight starts for him down in the minor leagues. Had a 5-3 record and 2.91 ERA. Torrey going on first move is picked off. That will end the inning. But the Angels do get a run courtesy of that balk. And through 3, the Halos lead it 2-0. So much to help us. Log on to MLB.com or welcomebackveterans.org for more information on how you can make a difference. Hope you're celebrating the 4th of July with loved ones, friends, family. The end of the holiday weekend. 6:05 start here tonight. 7:05 tomorrow. 12:35 on Wednesday afternoon. Wrapping up this 3-game set against the Tigers. Here tonight, the Angels with a solo home run in the first by Torrey Hunter. Peter Borgia scoring on a balk in the third inning, giving the Halos a 2-0 lead as the Tigers have Ordonez, Cabrera, and Martinez due up here against Joao Pinheiro. Has 1 strikeout, 1 walk, 1 hit allowed. All of that happened in the third inning.
Boy, Ordonez had a sinking fastball that didn't sink right over the heart of the plate. He's got tremendous numbers in his career against the Halos. 322. 21 home runs.
Yeah, that pitch missed down low. It's 2 balls and a strike. Just hitting .212 this year. A couple of home runs, 11 runs batted in. Maglo just playing in his 43rd game. Takes inside. It's 3 balls and a strike. Miguel Cabrera on deck. Maglo Ordonez at 37 years of age now. And he draws a leadoff walk. Second walk issued by Pinheiro as we take a look at our AT&T trivia question for this evening. Who is the only Angels pitcher ever to get a win in the All-Star game?
Dean Chance.
That's who you're going?
Yep. He started an All-Star game, so I got to go with Dean. He might be upset with me if I didn't go with him. Langston started one also.
Yeah. Cabrera's 0 for 1. He grounded out to second base, leading off the second. Boy, he jammed him nicely, running that sinker down and in.
Well, Cabrera's hitting the 14 double plays this season so far. First time up, hit a ground ball to second. Pinheiro would like to get another ground ball to second right now.
No balls, 2 strikes. I know the Angels were treated for many seasons here with Vladimir Guerrero in an Angels uniform and the plate coverage, which is unparalleled in Major League Baseball for Vladdy. But Miguel Cabrera comes very close to hitting pretty much anything that's hittable and driving it to all parts of the ballpark. That's how good a hitter this young man is. That pitch is down in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And he's so scary when he has that opportunity to be able to get his arms extended. You have to try to establish fastballs in on him. But if he looks in enough times, and then that becomes a dangerous pitch also. Can't fall in any particular pattern against him. You got to change it up as much as possible.
One, 2. Fouled off to the right. So the count remains at a ball and 2 strikes. Ordonez over at first base with a leadoff walk. Cabrera now 28 years of age. .38 home runs, 126 runs batted in last season. Hit .328. Takes the breaking pitch in the dirt, and Ordonez is going to advance to second on the wild pitch. Good read by Ordonez. And a man in scoring position for the Tigers here in the 4th.
Overthrew the breaking pitch. Mathis had himself in good position, had the glove between the leg, the body squared up with the spin of the baseball, a breaking ball in the dirt. Sometimes you cannot control that as a catcher. Everything was done textbook-like for Mathis, but the ball got away from him because of the spin.
Full count. Martinez is on deck. Pinheiro so far 50 pitches, 28 strikes. 1 strikeout and a couple of walks. This one out toward right center field. Borges comes in, makes the basket catch. And there is out number one.
It's not an easy play for a center fielder because of a top-hand swing. Baseball is going to dip right in front of him, but he was able to get the good read, position perfectly, comes in and makes that play right in front of the grass and foot. Nice job by Peter Borges on that one. That's a tough play. You can see where he was aligned. He was in great position to make that play. Good reports, scouting reports for the Angels to be in that position against Cabrera to make that play.
First out here in the fourth inning. Here's Victor Martinez. Hit a fly ball to center field himself in the the second inning. 0 for 1. Ordonez still at second base. 0 and 1. No runs, a hit, 2 left on for the Tigers so far. 2 runs, 2 hits, nobody left on for the Angels. Outside. It's 1 ball, 1 strike.
On the sleeve of Victor Martinez, the Sparky, number 11. They retired his number just a few days ago in Detroit. Passed away this past winter. To one of the all-time great baseball people. Did a lot of games here for the Angels over the years, but one of the best people ever in the game of baseball.
Rolled over to second base. Howie Kendrick from the outfield grass will retire Martinez for round number 2. Ordonez advances to third base.
He was my manager over in, we toured Japan back in '88. And I'll tell you what, I was doing a flight over to Japan, which was not exactly a short flight from LA. Had a chance to talk to him, and I learned so much about life in the game of baseball from Sparky, and just that opportunity to be able to play him for a couple weeks. Great man he was.
Skippered some unbelievable teams. Big Red Machine. How about that '84 Tigers team?
Yeah, I know that team real well. They boat raced us back in.
Just you?
Yeah, our team.
They boat raced everybody.
Yeah, when you start off 35-5, first 40 games, you're in a pretty good position to win. They swept us out in that 5-game series, the first round of the playoffs, and then of course took on the Padres and did some damage there also. Goodbye.
It's a courtesy visit by the Padres in that World Series.
I always felt that Tiger team had a 35-man roster. Everyone seemed to be a switch hitter. Everyone could hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Peralta shooting went down the right field line. It is tailing foul.
Yeah, Willie Hernandez closing up the game for him. They had Jack Morris as their ace of the staff. That was zero fun.
.104 and 58 for the Tigers in 1984. Off-speed pitch, down low, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Boy, and Sparky used to walk around during batting practice. Just walk around the field as the guys are hitting rockets all over the field, and he would never even think to look back as the baseballs were flying by him. I always go, Sparky, do you ever worry about that at all? He goes, nah, ball won't hit me. I swear every time I was out there, it'd see them find me and hit me. I know that.
2-2. Peralta pulls it past Callasco to left field. An RBI single brings home Ordonez, and the Tigers get on the board. It's a 2-1 Angels lead.
Well, that leadoff walk comes around to score. But Peralta continues to put up great numbers against the Angels. And in there with a .333 batting average in his career. As you can see by that arm action by Gary, he wanted to work down, but that ball a little bit higher than anticipated for him. And Peralta hit a rocket by Callasco for a base hit.
No, Peralta grounded out to Callasco in the second inning. Similar pitch. This one a little too much of the plate. He picks up his 49th run batted in, extends his hitting streak to 11 games. Here's Avila. Doubled up the first base line, leading off the third inning. It was stranded at second base. Takes outside for ball one. Popped him up. Left side, Ibar and Kayaspo. It's Ibar on the outfield grass. Makes the catch for the third out. The Tigers get on the board, however, with a run on a hit. We head to the bottom of the fourth with the Angels leading it 2-1.
Casino. Get your game on by El Pollo Loco. Now for only $5 at El Pollo Loco, get one of our 5 tasty combos. They are the combos other combos wish they could be. Catch them before they are gone. And by Time Warner Cable.
Halos on top 2-1 here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Perfect night for baseball. Huge fireworks extravaganza. It's not just a show here tonight. Extravaganza. Extravaganza.
They're ready.
Yeah. Long homestand continuing for the Halos. Here in the fourth inning, it'll be Abreu, Wells, and Kendrick against Charlie Furbush. Bobby looks at a strike. 43 pitches thrown by Furbush. 3 strikeouts, 1 walk, 2 hits allowed. It looks like it might be a short leash unless just somebody's playing catch out in the bullpen for the Tigers. That breaking ball drops in there, and it's 0-2. And actually, just from here, it looks like Jose Valverde, the closer, playing catch. It's kind of odd.
Well, he can come in now.
Sure.
Waste him at this point.
Bobby goes down looking for the second time tonight.
Oh, that's a pretty tough sequence of pitches going against Bobby. Fastball, curveball, fastball.
1 out here in the fourth. We'll go back to our AT&T trivia question. Which Angels pitcher picked up a W in the All-Star game? I'm saying Mike Witt. Brendan Donnelly. How about that?
Well, his birthday's today also.
Happy 40th birthday. Vernon takes the breaking ball down low. Donnelly, one of 2 Angels born on July the 4th. Can you tell me the other? I will pay you boatloads of money if you get this. Vernon chopping this one foul. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Wells hit a fly ball to center. See how I'm kind of dragging this out so you can get the wheels turning a little bit?
No chance.
So he's 0 for 1. The former Major League manager.
Chuck Tanner.
Oh, someone told you in your ear. That's a bunch of
oh, look at my head. I was scratching my head.
We're done. We're done. That's it. Moving on.
How much money
Starting
is a boatload
tomorrow,
of money,
we're
by
in
the way?
separate booths. I just want you to know that. You can go sit with Mario and Pemba and Ron Allen. Vernon rolls this one foul again. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Hey, it's all about the money. How much did I get?
Yeah, nothing. And you'll like it.
On the 4th? You do that to me?
Cheating, huh?
No, it just popped into my head.
Didn't it, though? Just randomly.
Once you
went
said
from
manager, I thought of Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah. Vernon hooking that one foul. You went from blank stare to the answer.
Just take some time.
You know what? Congratulations. You win a AARP magazine.
Oh, perfect.
You're already receiving
already
that one,
there.
right?
I'm already there.
You're on that mailing list.
Yes.
Congratulations. My dad loves it.
Is that the door prize?
Yeah, no. My dad loves his AARP membership, so
perfect.
Can't wait to get there in about 25 years. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Vernon. 4 strikeouts for Furbush. Vernon asking for time. Long look in. Finally backs out. Angel Hernandez granted it. There's the 1-2. This one out toward the shortstop Peralta. 2 outs. Fans visit the new Howard's Appliance and Big Screen Superstore in Irvine for their grand opening on Saturday. Mike Socia and Mark Trumbull will be appearing and signing autographs from 10 a.m. till noon. No Howard? No Howard, Kendrick?
No. We'll be busy.
Some of the most entertaining commercials anywhere in the Southland. Howard takes a strike.
They are some good ones.
And the dialogue is unbelievable. Now he 0 for 1. Fly down. Leading off the second. Takes the breaking ball for a strike, and it's quickly 0-2.
Furbush did a nice job as far as throwing strikes. 36 strikes out of his 53 pitches.
This one line to the alley in right center field. Jackson trying to cut it off. The ball checked up a little bit. Howie trying to go to second. He is in there with a 2-out double. Extends his hitting streak to 13 games. That's his 19th double of the season.
Boy, 19 doubles, 2 triples, 8 home runs, 26 RBI for Howie. That's why you see him as an all-star. And that approach right there with 2 strikes on him. Didn't try to do too much with it. Furbush probably hit too much of the strike zone on this pitch as he tried to go inside, but Howie inside-out approach, inner half. And I think that's the right decision to make. Always try to get into scoring position, especially with 2 outs. Take that chance. Be aggressive, and he gets into second base with a double and an opportunity to get that run back.
There's Mark Trumbo grounded out in the second inning. Lining this one out toward left center field. Jackson giving chase, and he will track it down. He can go get him. Big strides. He's able to track it down for the 3rd out. The Angels leave a man in scoring position, but still lead it 2-1.
Scanlon. I'm currently deployed to Camp Leatherneck, Afghanistan. I'm from Boise, Idaho, and I'd like to wish the LA Angels good luck. Let's put out a good show, and I'd also like to give a shout out to my family. Love you guys, and I'll be home before you know it.
Top of the 5th inning, the Angels leading it 2-1. First pitch swinging is Ryan Rayburn as the Tigers send up 8, 9, and 1. Rayburn, Inge, and Jackson. Rayburn a strikeout victim in the 3rd. The only strikeout that Pinheiro has had. He's not really a strikeout pitcher, as we talked about for the better part of the, I guess, early starts for Pinheiro. Struggling with that sinker. Not really getting the sink, but over the last couple of starts, especially if you look at it today, when you see the movement on his pitches, looks like he's kind of back to where he was the first half of last year.
Yeah, the big thing for him, and even talking to Mike Butcher about that over the last 4 or 5 starts for him, is staying on top of that fastball to be able to work down with the sink on it. If you get your elbow drops, your wrist will drop, and then you're going to have lateral movement, which becomes a very hittable pitch when you're not throwing in the mid-90s. When you're around 87 to 89, you rely on that sink action instead of that movement across the middle part of the plate, which hits the big part of the bat.
Inge hit a little soft liner to Eric Ibar in the 3rd inning. He's 0 for 1 in the hole here at no balls, 2 strikes.
Pinheiro so far with 7 ground ball outs in the game. That's a good sign for him.
Yeah, those 4 starts between May 21st and June the 5th, giving up a lot of hits. Inge fouls it straight back. Back-to-back starts in which he allowed 11 hits to the Braves and the A's. That followed up with back-to-back starts against Kansas City and New York, the Yankees, when he gave up 9 hits.
Yeah, he won't ever admit to the fact that he was thinking about that career win number 100 for him.
Brandon Inge hitting one down to deep left field. Vernon going back, makes the running catch over the shoulder, bangs into the fence. There are 2 outs.
Brandon Inge has taken a lot of hits away from people over the years at third base, and Vernon Wells takes a would-be double away from him to left field. Good read, over the shoulder catch by Vernon Wells as he's reaching back. It's just as he gets on the warning track. He's playing kind of shallow in on him. He's able to run back and make that nice play, and Pinheiro said yes.
2 outs here, nobody on. Back to the top of the order, and Austin Jackson stepping in, the center fielder. Gets jammed, flares one out to right. Torrey Hunter is there. That will end the inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Tigers. 3rd time in this game. They've gone down in order. Bottom of the 5th, that's where we're headed with the Angels on top. A moment to congratulate my brother, Mike, after the game yesterday. He look at that.
He's running all around. Look how excited.
He hasn't moved that quickly in 25 years. Not only that, he doesn't have any hands. Dropped the phone.
Well, that's because you called him.
Holy cow. That was during a commercial break. I
Yes.
called him, hey, we're going to put you on the air. Make sure you turn your back to us so the camera's got a full shot of your backside. Really appreciate it, buddy.
That's what brothers are for.
That's right. Rick Knapp being relieved of his duties. Mentioned earlier that Jeff Jones, the bullpen coach, is now the pitching coach. My brother was I guess technically still is, the director of player personnel for the Tigers. Was asked to take over the bullpen coach duties. First coaching job in the big leagues. Kayaspo lining one into center field. Leadoff knock.
Boy, I mean, you got first-hand experience. You saw him yesterday and today. I mean, how excited is he?
I tell you what, he got the call yesterday from Dave Dombrowski at about noon back on the East Coast. He lives in Naples. Flew out here last night, got to the hotel about 1. He said he slept, he didn't really sleep. He slept a little bit on the plane. And he was just flat out giddy. And I told him, I said, I remember the call when I was still doing minor league baseball, and I got the call from the Diamondbacks that I'd been hired to do their radio. And it's like, it's the best feeling in the world. I don't think his feet have touched the ground yet.
That gum he's chewing on right now is just getting destroyed. He's just like, the excitement you can see. He can't sit still down there. It's beautiful.
He's a nervous Nelly. Borges takes a strike. He had a base at his first time out. There's Jeff Jones, great guy. And, unfortunately in baseball, these things happen. We've seen that a lot
this year.
Rick Knapp, a terrific guy, terrific pitching coach, will more than likely end up somewhere else in the big leagues. But sometimes moves need to be made. The Tigers decided to do that yesterday.
And the starting rotation for this club, which they thought was going to be their strength, has kind of struggled for them. You take away Justin Verlander, who's been out of this world. Even watching the game yesterday with Rick Porcello, a good young pitcher, he's been struggling throwing strikes down in the strike zone. He's a sinker ball pitcher, so maybe that change, better communication with the pitching coach for that staff.
Borges lays off that pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, the two constants for the staff have been Valverde, the closer, Verlander, the ace. Aside from that, there have been glimpses. Max Scherzer has been very good at times, not very good other times. Matter of fact, got knocked around by the San Francisco Giants a couple of days ago. Throw over, and Kayaspo easily back. Since May the 7th, that was when Verlander threw that no-hitter, his second in his career. The rotation for the Tigers, 224 innings and 40 starts. They've gone 12-14 with an ERA over 5.
That's supposed your strength to your club. When you have an ERA like that, that's why you see some changes made, and that was why that decision was made by them.
Borges fouls one back. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The starters for the Tiger with a 33-27 mark and a 4.16 ERA. The bullpen 12-13 and a 4.91 earned run average. And as we pointed out, this is the Tigers team that could certainly put runs up on the board. That seems to be kind of, as you get closer and closer to the non-waiver trade deadline of July 31st, seems like a lot of teams starting to look for some bullpen pieces. The 1-2, Borges lays off.
There'll be a lot of scrambling, especially when you look at that AL Central right now. All 3 teams, 3 games, 2-3 games apart. The White Sox playing well now. They won again tonight. Of course, the Tigers and the Indians. Similar to what you see over here in the AL West also.
Cleveland's got a half-game lead at the start of the day. The White Sox 3.5 back. The Twins are 8 back. But at one point, the Twins were left for dead. All the injuries that they had suffered through. Got a nice stretch. They're struggling here of late. Burbush now at 61 pitches thrown, and the Tigers have a couple of guys up. Double barrel action, a righty and a lefty. Phil Koch is the lefty, a guy that was in the rotation. Lester Oliveras, the right-hander. 2-2 pitch. Called strike 3. Borges takes the fastball. There's out number 1. Hey, folks, on Thursday at 7:05, the Angels start a 4-game series against the Seattle Mariners. All fans in attendance will receive an Angels flashback hat courtesy of Hyundai. For tickets, visit the Angel Stadium ticket office or log on to angels.com. Borges goes down looking, 5th strikeout of the game for Borges. 1 out, 1 on for Jeff Mathis, a strikeout victim himself in the 3rd. Furbush freezes everybody, including us up here in the booth.
Freeze frame.
Good old Jay Giles.
Good music video also for that one.
I was still teething at the time, so I don't quite remember. First pitch. Mathis drops a bunt on the third base side. Furbush picks it up, fires to first, and they get Mathis. It advances Callasco, but there are 2 outs now.
Pretty good play by Furbush, but a lot of times with a left-handed pitcher, you're going to fall towards that third base line. Be able to get himself in that position, fall over there. He's going to be there. Gathers himself, spin, throw. Almost into Mathis going down the line. Cabrera made a nice play by holding on to that baseball.
Not a bad idea. If he gets that ball closer to the line, it's an infield single. Instead, it goes as a sacrifice bunt, we believe. Which, nowadays, everything's a sacrifice bunt.
I'm happy for Mathis not getting an official at bat on that one. The bottom line is with 1 out.
It is a sacrifice bunt. Ibar takes the breaking ball for a strike, and that's the 1 pitch that the left-hander starting to get kind of locked in on. Started last inning with that big curveball.
Well, he's doing a good job as far as getting his arm in that proper position to be able to get that curveball not only over in the strike zone, but having that late break at the end.
Ibar lifts one out to shallow center field, and that's going to fall in for a base hit. Callasco scores, and Eric Ibar with a 2-out knock. The Angels get that run back. They lead it 3-1.
You look at one of the most consistent hitters as far as getting that base hit with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. Eric Ibar's done a good job as far as that. Didn't exactly square up that baseball, but hit it well enough to fall in front of Austin Jackson, who generally plays a pretty shallow center field. They jammed him. Ball's in front of him. Jim Leyland looks like he's going to come out and go to the bullpen.
So a pitching change here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Furbush in his first major league start, 13th appearance of the year, is no longer in the ballgame. Lester Oliveras is coming on with 2 outs here in the 5th, and the Angels leading it 3-1. I want to remind you that baseball's biggest stars will gather together in the Arizona desert for one spectacular night in the summer's biggest event as Fox brings you every thrilling moment of the 2011 MLB All-Star Game. Coverage begins Tuesday, July the 12th, live from Phoenix at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, only on Fox. 23-year-old Lester Oliveros is in the game with 2 outs, and Eric Ibar at first are in and out. Who's in, who's out? Charlie Furbush, 4 2/3, 5 hits, including a home run, 5 strikeouts, and a walk. The first pitch to Torrey is in there at the knees, and it's 0-1. Not a bad start. I mean, considering he got that breaking pitch going, all of a sudden he started to click. Gave up the flare single to Ibar, but
one run came across on a balk also.
Right.
So I mean, he threw the ball well. Oliveros is a guy that will throw a pretty good fastball, 93 to 95 slider changeup.
Torrey hitting one out to center field. Austin Jackson almost dead in his tracks. Will make the catch. That will end the inning. The Angels do get a run on the Eric Ibar single. Crew 5. Halos lead it 3-1.
Celebrating the 4th of July here at the Big A. All the festivities, the sunglasses, the national pastime. It is baseball. Veteran being here, of course, C-17 plane and a gigantic American flag. That C-17 was rather large and pretty close to us around here in the booth.
Large and in charge.
And that was our Coors Light free scan, brought to you by Frost Brew Coors Light.
Top of the 6th inning, Brendan Bosch leading things off, and he'll take a strike from Joel Pinheiro. Halos on top 3-1. Solo runs for the Halos in the 1st, 3rd, and 5th innings. The Tigers got a run in the 4th. RBI single by Peralta with 2 outs. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bosch tonight 0 for 2. A couple of ground outs, 1 to short, 1 to second. Tigers sending up 2, 3, and 4 here in the 6th inning. Bosch, Ordonez, Cabrera. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You got a chance to coach against Brendan Bosch here in high school baseball. Great plate coverage. Drives the ball pretty much to all fields.
Yeah, he was a spectacular player at Harvard Westlake High School in San Fernando Valley. The coach against him. Anytime there was an opportunity to walk him, though, I did so. There was an open base. I was going to take my shot because he was unbelievably quick.
Loops this one out to left center field. He's got a 10-game hitting streak. Leadoff man is on board for the Tigers for the second, check that, 3rd straight inning. Double by Avila in the 3rd, but walk to Ordonez in the 4th, and now the single by Bosch.
You can see why he's more comfortable in that position where he can look the other way, hits the ball well the opposite direction. He'll turn on a pitch on the inner half, especially if it's a curveball or a slider in the inner half. More of it. A setup type role as far as in the offense because there's so many powerful hitters throughout the bottom part of this lineup. Very good as far as getting that swing together and making contact.
Maglio's 0 for 1. He grounded out in the 1st inning, walked and scored in the 4th. 1 ball, no strikes. Tigers don't run a whole lot. They're tied for 12th in the American League. Just 33 stolen bases for them. Austin Jackson has 15 of them. Two balls and no strikes.
Yeah, Jim Leyland's one of those coaches too who like to put the hit and run on occasion. Not a lot of team speed as far as this club. He will put the hit and run on occasion to stay away out of the double play ball.
Pinero's falling behind here. 3 balls and no strikes. Maglio's a guy that over the last couple of seasons, not a whole lot of pop in his bat. A lot of singles, a lot of extra base hits, but as far as driving the ball out of the ballpark, it's kind of calmed down for him. The guy on deck, different story. And he's walked him for the 2nd time tonight. 3rd walk, and now you've got 2 men on with Cabrera coming to the plate.
Well, that's what you don't want to do. Put a guy in scoring position, especially with Cabrera. You've done a nice job with him so far as getting out both times. You're looking for trouble when you do so.
Mike Butcher coming out. Pinero's thrown 77 pitches, 45 have been strikes. 1 punch out, 3 walks. He's retired Cabrera twice tonight, once via the ground ball. That was in the 2nd. The other as a soft liner, knuckling liner that Peter Borges made a nice basket catch on in the 4th inning.
And the one thing about Miguel Cabrera, if he hits a ground ball, it could be a double play ball. I mentioned earlier, 14 double plays he's hit into.
1 ball, no strikes. This is not a team that you could gift base runners to. They will make you pay for it. Bosch with a leadoff single is at second base. Ordonez over at first. The 1-0. Out to straightaway center field. Borges was playing deep and near the wall. Leaps up, makes the catch. Peter Borges once again with a spectacular catch in center field. There's out number 1.
Well, you see how quick he got back to the wall, was able to make the play. Torrey Hunter said, yeah, did that a few times over my career with all those gold gloves. You got gold gloves to the left of him and to the right of him. And boy, what a jump. And what a play. Leaping up, slamming into the wall. Able to prevent extra bases. It's all about that quick, electric first step. Tell you what, both these center fielders can get a baseball. Austin Jackson and Peter Borges, man, they can cover some ground.
So 1 out and 2 on now. Victor Martinez at the plate. It's a 1-hopper to Howie Kendrick. Should be 2. Ibar on the trouble. How about that? Leadoff single followed by a 4-pitch walk. A line out to center and a double play ball. That's all it takes.
That's all.
That's it. Angels still on top. we're on the driver's side. And by Bubba Burger, available in your grocer's freezer. Remember, you'll never bite a burger better than a Bubba. Bubba Burger. Bottom of the 6th inning, Halos on top 3-1. Abreu, Wells, Kendrick here in the 6th inning against Lester Oliveros.
Where he's going, yeah, I did that a few times. I'll tell you what, if you're a pitcher on this team, especially the way the outfield is set up right now with Vernon Wells in left and Peter Bortz in center and Torrey Hunter in right, just keep the ball in play, and it's going to be caught.
Yeah, especially considering you get guys that are typical fly ball pitchers, the exception being Pinheiro, maybe Tyler Chatwood, depending on the start. But everyone else is considered a fly ball pitcher.
That's why you would want your pitchers to be aggressive and throwing strikes, because they're going to make the play. The defense in the infield, I think the reason why you see the Angels playing much more consistent baseball this season, and of course during this stretch, is the ability to catch the baseball, as Peter Borges was able to do there. Allows you to be more aggressive. There's times when you're not going to score some runs, so you got to pitch your game, but if you can catch the ball, you have a great chance to win.
Bobby letting it fly there on 2-1.
Big difference in the fielding percentage this year as compared to last year, and that's why the club is playing much better baseball.
Count remains at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bobby's 0 for 2. He for 1 is thankful that Charlie Furbush is no longer in the game. Struck out swinging in the first, struck out looking in the fourth. The Tigers starter went 4 2/3, 5 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 5 strikeouts, and 1 walk.
Overall, you got to think that Jim Leland's pretty happy with the job that Charlie Furbush did for him tonight. Nearly 5 innings pitched, got this team in the ball game.
Bobby gets jammed, bounces it foul. Couple of Venezuelans facing each other right now. Oliveros and Abreu. Breaking pitch out towards center. Jackson going back on it, and he will track it down. And there is out number 1. Hey folks, USAA would like to recognize our military members here at the stadium tonight, and there are plenty of them. Great to see them here and about. Chance to talk with a couple of them before the game.
Yeah, I got that. Go down in the field with them.
Great crowd on hand once again here on this homestand. Vernon chasing that pitch. 0-1. 43,000 here tonight. 43,012 to be exact. Vernon hitting one out toward right center field. Jackson giving chase. Not going to get this one off the wall. Vernon on his way to second with a 1-out double. That ball just kept tailing toward the alley in right center field. If it stays straight, that's up in the trees and gone.
Yeah, it hit the worst spot you can hit for Vernon right there, because it hit right around where all those championship clubs are on the wall. That's the big thing. The reason why Vernon Wells is hitting the ball so much more consistently lately is the fact that he can drive the ball to center, to right center field, and bring those pitches on the inner half, and then turn and hit it out of the ballpark.
5th double of the season for Vernon. He's in scoring position now for Howie Kendrick. Howie doubled his last time up, extending his hitting streak to 13 games as he takes a strike.
Yeah, Vernon's so funny. I saw him before the game today. I said, Vernon, you're starting to swing the bat really well. He goes, hey, baseball's just finding my bat right now, and I'm squaring it up pretty good.
chopper towards short. Peralta has it. 2 outs. Wells advancing to third. And Mark Trumbull with an opportunity to pick up an RBI. Mark broke his bat in the second and he grounded out to Ryan Rayburn. And hit one on the line out to Austin Jackson in the fourth. He tracked down. Oh for 2. Lines this one to right field. There's a base hit, an RBI, 4-1 Angels. That snaps an 0 for 12 for Trumbo as he picks up his 36th run batted in.
2 pretty good at bats in a row for Trumbo. That ball hit well to center field that Austin Jackson ran down. Now line drive in the right field for an RBI base hit. Breaking pitch, it kind of spun up for him but stayed up high, but he kept his hands back very well and drove it on the line in the right field in front of Ordonez.
Callaspo comes up now, 1 for 2. That one in the dirt. It gets away from Avila. And Trumbull will advance on the wild pitch.
Good read by Trumbo. Once that ball got by Avila, he decided to take that shot at it to get in scoring position. Callaspo more of a singles hitter. Now single scores a run potentially. Tried a backhand, didn't do that the right way. And on a fastball too. Had that glove turned the other way around.
Going off speed. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Alberto with a base hit leading off the 5th inning. It's scored with a 2-out base hit by Ibar in the 5th. Intentional walk coming now. Borges will get an opportunity to hit.
Down to is Callaspo, 311 career hitter against the Tigers. Pretty consistent. Jim Leyland with that open base decided to take a chance on a righty versus righty here.
Jeff Jones coming out. No action in the Tigers bullpen. Talk strategy here with Peter Borges coming up. Peter had a base hit in the 3rd inning, had 2 stolen bases, and then scored on the block by Furbley. Borges ended up taking a fastball as he went down looking in the 5th. He's got Trumbo at second and Callaspo at first. Angels leading it by the score of 4-1. Breaking pitch, chopped to third. Brandon in just got it. He'll force out Trumbo. That will end the inning. The Angels do get a run on a couple of hits, leave 2 on. 6 in the books. 4-1 Halos. 4-1 lead over the Tigers. Game 1 of this 3-game set.
A few clouds out there in the outfield, way out.
Not going to bother us. Peralta, Avila, Rayburn. 6, 7, and 8 for the Tigers here in the 7th against Joe Pinheiro. First pitch swinging. It's Peralta. He pulls one down the left field line. On his way to second with a leadoff double. The Angels start to get action in their bullpen. Second hit of the game for Peralta, and that's his 15th double. Hisanori Takahashi is the first man up.
Well, Peralta, it is so difficult for the Angels to get out over the years.
Maybe that's the guy they need to pitch around. Not Maglio.
No, exactly at this point. Peralta's putting up some all-star type numbers.
Pinheiro's thrown 81 pitches so far. Alex Avila is the guy that is due up next. He had a double in the 3rd inning, and he's popped out, so 1-for-2 game. Michael Kahn now joins Hisanori Takahashi. The double Avila picked up in the 3rd inning, his 17th of the season. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Pinheiro's been able to weave his way out of trouble. The Tigers have had their leadoff man on board now in 4 of the 7 innings. The one run that has come across was that leadoff walk to Maglio Ordonez in the 4th. Good off-speed pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, a good time to mix that in after Avila's definitely looking for a fastball there. Drop it all speed, split finger fastball, perfect spot.
There's the 1-1. Ground ball to short, not going to advance Peralta. Ibar retires Avila. There's out number 1. Hey, on Saturday, country superstar Dierks Bentley will continue the postgame summer concert series presented by SRS Labs in association with Budweiser. Purchase your tickets today at the Angel Stadium ticket office or at angels.com/concerts.
That's a good sideways sinking fastball. Pinheiro, that's a good pitch right there, especially against a left-handed batter. Sinker away, force him to hit to that ball to that left side of the infield. You cannot advance the base runner. We hit that ball to shortstop.
Here's Ryan Rayburn. 1 out, 1 on. Rayburn 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground ball to 3rd. Ball on the strike here on Rayburn. Tigers with 4 hits in this game. They've stranded 4 men. The Angels with 7 hits. They've also stranded 4. Tigers so far 1 for 8 with men in scoring position in this game. Angels pitchers have done a terrific job against the opposition on this homestand in those scenarios. You know what? Make that 1 for 9 with that ground out by Avila for the man in scoring position. The Halos have limited the Nationals, the Dodgers, and the Tigers so far to 6 for 61 with men in scoring position.
Bearing down with guys on base. You see that a lot of that good focus.
Rayburn hitting one out to right field. There's a base hit. But Peralta's going to be stopped at 3rd base. So runners at the corners now, 1 out. Brandon Inge coming to the plate.
Number 15, third
This is going to give Joel Pinheiro another opportunity to get that ground ball double play to get through the inning.
Peralta now at third, Rayburn at first. With one out, here's Inge. 0 for 2. No balls at a strike.
That's one of those lateral moving fastballs that didn't work down into the strike zone. Dangerous pitch to Brandon Inge, who has good power. Got to stay on top of that pitch, work down.
No balls at a strike. Inge with a soft line at Ibar in the third inning. A fly ball to deep left in the fifth. Ground ball toward third. Callaspo's got it. Feeds Kendrick for one. Relay to first in time. Second inning ending double play for the Angels. Joel Pinheiro getting it done. Seventh inning stretch time here at the Big A. The Angels on top 4-1, and in special recognition of the military, USAA now presents the singing of God Bless America.
Our pre-game flyover personnel, Air Force Reserve from the 729th Airlift Squadron out of March Field, who directed our C-17 Globemaster flyover this evening. And as we celebrate our nation's independence today, ladies and gentlemen, let's remember the men and women who serve our neighbors and our country at home and around the world. Prior to singing Take Me Out to the Ball Game, would you please join with Sabrina Lentini in God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
An angel for 4 seasons, a hero forever, thanks to a legendary at-bat in Game 6 of 2002, with the Angels clinging to their World Series lives.
We got a chance when we set the table for Scott. He hit the home run that got us back in the game.
When he hit it, we all held our breath for what it seemed like 25 seconds for that thing to come down. And the little electricity button got pushed, and boy, it was on.
Bottom of the 7th here at the Big 8. The Angels on top by the score of 4-1. New pitcher on the mound for the Tigers. It's the right-hander Ryan Perry. Mathis swinging first pitch, pops one up into foul territory on the first base side. Cabrera can't get it. The ball's a strike on Jeff Mathis.
Well, Ryan Perry's a guy with a very good fastball himself. 94 to 97 slider, changeup. A guy that has not commanded the strike zone this season. That's the big issue for him. 18 2/3 innings pitched, 11 walks. That's what you mentioned earlier about the bullpen ERA. This guy they counted on to be one of their most consistent guys, and that certainly has not been the case.
Mathis swinging through that one, and it's no balls, 2 strikes. Jeff today 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a sacrifice bunt. Lester Olivares went an inning and a third. 3 hits, 1 run, 1 walk. It was intentional. Breaking pitch. Pretty nasty slider there by Perry. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Perry pitched in 60 games last year with the Tigers. 3-5 mark, a 3.59 ERA, had a couple of saves. First round pick, 21st overall in 2008. Mathis shooting one down the line, and that is a foul ball. Alfredo Griffin can't believe the call by first base umpire Angel Campos.
Well, that certainly was pretty close. See, part of the fact is that ball just hit the grass right by the chalk line.
Mike Scioscia's going to come out and argue it. You typically don't see Alfredo Griffin as animated as we just saw him, so that usually gives you an indication that he saw it as a fair ball.
Wow, that looks like it right on the line.
There's that big puffy white cloud that jumped up.
I mean, he's in great position to call it as he's turned around and tracking that baseball right down the line. I mean, there's no question that's on the chalk line. That's unbelievable.
Is it really, though?
No, but you're right. Alfredo doesn't really get animated unless he knows, or at least he sees something going in the Angels' direction.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Nothing surprises me anymore. And he's right on top of the line.
The only thing, when the surface was redone after the U2 concert, we saw some baseballs would hit the grass and you see that sand coming out, but right down that line you can see it was right on the chalk line.
Full count now. This one fouled back behind the plate. Brandon Inge is coming over, and he'll make the running catch. What a play. Avila never broke for it, and Brandon Inge never stopped running.
That's a long way to go. I mean, that is a long way to go to make a play.
Did Avila not see it?
I don't think he read it right. I mean, there's some catches over time. You see, don't read that baseball right back up. But that's about as far as you can go. I mean, he's playing back. There's 2 strikes on Mathis at that point. He's got to run and deal with the on-deck circle, the bat there, and then the bobble and the concentration to look that back in the glove.
Boy, nice play by Brandon Inge. Mathis retired for the first down. Here's Eric Ibarb. Loops one down a line. Brennan Bosch comes charging in. He'll make the catch. 2 outs.
Just the distance he had to go to make that play, and the concentration as he's running in there trying to find where the screen is. We talked about him early in the game. He's one of the better fielding third basemen you're going to see in all of baseball.
Torrey swinging. First pitch. Grounds one to Peralta. And it turns out to be a 1-2-3 inning. 7 in the books. The Angels still on top. 4-1. Scorecard on the night. Joel Pinheiro, 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run. He is done. It was Torrey Hunter that put the Angels up early. 9th home run of the season. That came in the first inning. Charlie Furbush, the left-hander, got the start. His first major league start tonight. Went 4 2/3 and allowed 3 earned runs. New pitcher on here for the Halos. Scott Downs comes on in the 8th.
Boy, he's been so effective. Not only doing his job on the mound, but working with the younger relievers down in that bullpen, too. Commanding that fastball, 87 to 89 range. Real good breaking ball. Pitches inside very effectively against left-handed batters also, and a good changeup.
Top of the order for the Tigers here, Austin Jackson swinging first pitch. Fouls this one off into the seats, and it's no balls in a strike. Jackson, Bosch, and Ordonez here in the 8th. Pinheiro, 7 innings, 1 strikeout, 3 walks, 5 hits, 1 run. It was earned. One ball, 1 strike. Pinheiro started this ballgame with a 4.14 ERA. With his performance tonight, lowers it to 3.90. Boy, locked him over that fastball in, 1-2.
Angel Hernandez hasn't caught a lot of pitches on the inside part of the plate, but he had no choice but to call that one. That was perfect. Angel's been doing a good job as far as calling the pitches away, but that fastball inside hasn't been giving the pitchers that spot too often.
Two balls, 2 strikes here on Austin Jackson. Leadoff man, 0 for 2. Did draw a walk in the 3rd inning. And it's a full count.
Always the important batter late in the ball game is getting that lead guy out, especially a guy with this type of speed that Jackson has. We get to that middle part of this lineup, very dangerous lineup for the Tigers.
Especially when you've got a left-hander up and then you've got 4 straight lefties after that as Jackson rolls a foul. So the count remains at 3-2.
Jackson might have swung at ball 4 there, too.
Another 3-2, and Jackson goes down swinging. There's out number 1. Hey, subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Angels game live or on demand on your computer as well as your favorite devices. MLB.tv Premium lets you enjoy HD quality, home and away coverage, multi-game view, as well as the ability to pause and rewind live games. Visit Angels.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv baseball everywhere. Isn't that Vernon Wells, Eric Ibar thing?
I think so. It's been working lately.
It's catching on. I mean, it's
been working.
They're doing it in the clubs now. Brendan Bosch takes a fastball for a strike. Bosch 1 for 3, had a single to lead off the 6th inning. No balls, 2 strikes. Got to chase that off-speed pitch.
And that's a great arm motion on that breaking ball. This is the time, though, a lot of time to see Scott Downs go right back in with a fastball inside. See if he can freeze a young left-handed batter. Gonna try to finish him off with a curveball.
One ball, 2 strikes on Brendan Bosch with 1 out here in the 8th. Halos with a 4-1 lead. Got him swinging, tied him up with that fastball down and in. 2 outs, back-to-back punch outs for Scott Downs.
Well, you don't see many left-handers, left-handed pitchers, I should say, that comfortable about throwing a fastball inside a left-handed batter, especially when you have a good sweeping breaking ball. But Scott Downs does a great job as far as getting underneath the hand of left-handed batters, spotting that fastball extremely well. Gets that punch out.
There's Maglio with 2 outs and nobody on. Ordonez just 0 for 1. He grounded out of the 1st inning, has walked twice since then. Did score a run, the only Tigers run that came in the 4th. Pinheiro helped out in the 6th and 7th innings. Inning-ending double plays. This one chopped to short. Ibar to the backhand. Scott Downs has himself a 1-2-3 8th. We head to the bottom of the 8th. The Angels still leading at 4-1.
throwing some leather out in center field. Comes in on a sinking line drive by. Miguel Cabrera will be able to get that ball before it hits the shoe stop, then runs back and makes an outstanding play with the game on the line. At that point, was first and second, no outs. Cabrera crushed that ball. Tracked it down and made a great play.
Phil Koch comes into the ballgame here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The ever popular Peanut Butter Jelly Time. Norm Peters. He's a superstar.
He is a star.
There's nothing else to say about that. He does the dance.
We have to bring the Macarena back so we can see him do that.
Oh, that'd be lovely. 43,000 on hand here. Just went crazy for Norm on the big screen. You saw Phil Koch's numbers, a guy who's been part of the rotation for Jim Leyland and the Tigers. But I guess Jim Leyland kind of described it best. He's got starter stuff with closer mentality. He's like a bull in a china shop.
What it basically means is he's going to go full max every single pitch, but it's tough to get deep into a ball game when you have that mentality. At times as a starter, you got to pace yourself, get some quick outs, but he doesn't do that too often. With the 92 to 95 mile an hour fastball, good curve and slider, he's a full max pitcher that lets it go every single pitch.
Facing Bobby Abreu here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The first pitch fastball is in there. The last game, I should say, pardon me, that Phil Koch pitched in was on the 29th. That was a start against the New York Mets. So his last 5 outings, an 0-3 mark, a 7.20 ERA. Made 14 starts this year, a 1-7 record, and an ERA of 4.82 as a starter. It was part of the package, the big trade between the Yankees, Diamondbacks, and the Tigers a couple of years ago. Austin Jackson also coming over from the Yankees. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Bobby goes down swinging. 0 for 4 night with 3 punch out. There's out number 1. Hey, join the Angels in Wells Fargo as they host a canned food drive at Angel Stadium Friday through Sunday. All fans that donate receive a team photo. Fans that donate 10 canned goods or $10 or more receive 2 tickets to a future game while supplies last. All proceeds benefit the Second Harvest Food Bank of Orange County. There's Vernon Wells with 1 out, nobody on. Takes the off-speed pitch up and away. Vernon 1 for 3, had a double with a run scored in the 6th inning. Chopper up the line. Brandon Inge will field this one in foul territory. Count even at 1 ball, 1 strike.
When that last at bat by Vernon, he just crushed that ball to right center field. And that power stroke is certainly back for him right now. 11 home runs, 5 doubles.
One on 1 the count. 2 balls and a strike. Koch last year in his first season with the Tigers, 7-5, a 3.76 ERA, pitching in 74 games. 73 in relief. He made 1 start last year. He's a guy that came up in this minor league system of the Yankees, pitching as a starter. As Vernon fouls this one back. Avila giving chase, and Brandon Inge nowhere to be found as this one lands in the seats. That foul ball was safe.
Yeah, he says, you know what, I can't go that far.
I'm done.
I went about as far as I can go.
I have a quota, and I've met it. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Boy, when you think about how far he had to go to make that play.
Yep. That guy has played everywhere, too. He's one heck of a defensive third baseman.
He came up as a catcher.
He's played center field, third base. He's played, like I said, everywhere, and he settled in at third base and done a nice job defensively. Vernon fouls this one back. Count remains at 2-2. Offensively, He's a guy when he's going good, you can ride that hot streak, but he's been scuffling a bit.
That basically described it best. Very streaky. When he's hot, he hits everything. When he struggles, he'll swing a lot of pitches out of the strike zone.
All-time great guy.
Yeah, he was fun to talk to even before the game again today.
Vernon lining one out to deep left field. Forget about it. Gone. Big fly for Vernon Wells. 5-1 Angels.
What do you need to say about his driving the ball pretty well? That ball is a long way out. It's over both bullpens. If you're a fan out there, you're thinking, there's no chance I'm going to get a baseball. Vernon Wells says, you got a good shot the way I'm swinging the bat right now.
12th home run of the season. 30 runs batted in for Vernon Wells. A 2-for-4 night. Here's Howie Kendrick. 1 ball, no strikes on Howie. 8th home run since the 13th of June.
You think he'll describe that as baseball just found his bat once again?
Absolutely. Vernon's about keeping it real.
Yeah, real far, that is. Well, you talk about getting the good part of the bat and getting a perfect swing together on a fastball up like that. Consider his last at bat, he hit a rocket off the right center field wall.
Fouled off to the right, 1 ball, 2 strikes. That ball was crushed. And the man can dance. See, I told you this thing, it's bumping now. It really is. I mean, you guys do that before every open. Before we come on the air, you're
just to
doing
get
that
loose.
dance.
Just to get loose. That baseball is absolutely crushed.
Now he goes down swinging. There's out number 2. Kendrick a 1-for-4 now. So 2 outs, nobody on for Mark Trumbo. Trumbo 1-for-3, had an RBI single in the 6th inning, picking up his 36th run batted in. Snapped a 0-for-12 stretch that Mark had been on. Now 4 for his last 22. No balls and 1 strike on Mark Trumbo. In the 9th, the Tigers will have Cabrera, Martinez, and Peralta. No longer a save situation. 0-2. Two home runs on the night. Vernon Wells, Torrey Hunter. Torrey got it started in the 1st. A 1 ball, 2 strike count. Looks like Michael Kahn is the guy that's up now in the pen. Coming out of the 9th inning.
Talked about when you get that opportunity to get a fastball, especially a fastball that you can hit hard, don't miss it. Go back to that dugout thinking, geez, I missed my opportunity to crush a ball. Vernon certainly didn't on that fastball there. Torrey didn't in the 1st inning.
Here's the 1-2. Trumbo fouls it off to the right. Series continues tomorrow night, 7:05 start. Justin Verlander going for the Tigers, 11-3, a 2.32 ERA against Dan Herron. There's Verlander, Herron at 8-5 with a 2.85 ERA.
Well, we talked about that great matchup on Saturday with Kershaw and Weaver. This is pretty close to it. Those 2 guys.
This one out toward right field. Ordonez coming on. He'll play it on a hop. A 2-hit night for Mark Trumbo, so he's 2 for 4. The Angels with 9 hits on the night, having a man on here in the 8th inning, and Alberto Callaspo stepping to the plate with 2 outs. And Dan Herron has an outside chance of making the All-Star team. Once we get to that point where guys start falling by the wayside, whether it's an injury or their starts are so close to the All-Star break that they're not going to partake.
Definitely. I mean, when you think about it, the fact that he's been as consistent as you get.
Alberto rolls it foul. No balls in a strike. Callaspo 1 for 2. C.C. Sabathia has already said he's gone. He's got a trip planned to the Bahamas, so don't bother asking.
Wow.
He's taking the family.
You got to go if you're asked.
That's a man with conviction.
There's a man who might be starting the All-Star game right there. There's a man who's already thrown a no-hitter, almost threw 2 other no-hitters this season. 2 of the best in the business, both watching the game from the dugout tonight.
It's funny how each season it fluctuates as you start to ask different baseball people, if you had one game to win, who would you pick? And it's fluctuated. Roy Halladay's a favorite. Cliff Lee, because of the run that he went on last year with the Texas Rangers. It's tough not to pick the way Justin Verlander's pitched this season. Pick over the power guy that's going to rack up a lot of strikeouts. Weave picks up a lot of strikeouts as well.
Especially when you think, especially Jared, the fact is he's pitched so many low-scoring games, and those are the type of games you're going to get in the postseason, a game you must win. You can't go wrong with either one of those 2 guys right there. Weaver or Verlander. Different, yet very dominant. Both can strike people out at will, but a little different way of going about the strikeout.
Trumbo takes off. The throw down from Avila is not in time. Mark Trumbo picks up a stolen base. Ryan Rayburn thinks that he got Trumbo. A 1-hop throw to second. Mark picks up his 8th stolen base. Jim Leland's going to come out to argue. Joe West asking Jim Leland, what are you doing out here?
And Jim goes, what? Just wanted to see what happened.
Yeah. Joe, I just wanted to compliment you on the weight loss. You look great. And now maybe he's getting a little personal.
I think Jim Leland was just going out there to say, hey, did he get him or not? By the time Joe West said, hey, don't worry about it. I got the call right. I think I got upset a bit. One-hop throw. The foot looked like it was going to be there, but the Rayburn's foot was on the base. Yeah, I don't know if the foot ever got on the base by Trumbo sliding in.
Tough little angle there. Avila and Angel Hernandez now having a conversation. So is Alberto Callaspo. Two balls and no strikes. I think that was the conversation as to what the count was. The man in scoring position was Trumbo picking up his 8th stolen base.
It's never a bad idea to add on. Distance himself from this Tiger lineup because they can swing the bat.
Alberto had a base hit and a run scored in the 5th inning, scoring on the Ibar single. Flips this one down the line. It's tailing foul into the seats. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the Angels' third baseman. Solo runs for the Angels in the 1st, 3rd, 5th, 6th, and 8th. Tigers with their one and only run in the 4th inning. RBI single by Peralta. He's had a 2-hit game. Picked up his 49th run batted in. Down and in, full count. Borges on deck. And by the way, on Wednesday afternoon, that's a 12:35 start. Brad Penny going for the Tigers. Tyler Chapwood for the Angels. contrast in size there between those two guys.
Just a bit.
Callaspo goes down looking. That will end the 8th inning. The Angels do get an insurance run. Vernon Wells, his 12th home run of the season, a multi-hit game for him. 8 in the books. Angels on top 5-1. Hey, folks, we're down to the rating 4 greatest moments in MLB All-Star Game history. Go to MLB.com/moments. Vote now for your favorite Midsummer Classics and tune in to the 2011 MLB All-Star Game on Tuesday, July the 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific here on Fox, and find out who won. Vernon Wells giving the Angels a little insurance in the bottom of the 8th inning. His 12th home run. Torrey Hunter hit his 9th. Put the Angels on the board early in the first. Michael Kahn comes on here in the 9th inning, taking over for Scott Downs, who had a perfect 8th inning, including a couple of strikeouts. Miguel Cabrera, Victor Martinez, Johnny Peralta to face Kahn here in the 9th. Cabrera tonight 0 for 3. The fastball is up and in.
0 for 3 because he hit 2 baseballs toward Peter Borges.
So especially
bad
that
idea.
last one.
Yes.
At the straightaway center field, Borges making the leaping catch. That came in the 6th inning after the Tigers had gotten their first 2 men on board. Good catch by Borges, the first down of that inning. Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. This is where Michael Kahn needs to bear down, just go after guys. Got a 4-run lead here in the 9th.
It's a saying pitching coaches at all levels tell you as a pitcher, trust your stuff on the mound. With that type of fastball and slider, just have that mindset to challenge hitters.
There's
like
a
that.
challenging fastball there, 2-1.
When you get a fastball by a great hitter like Miguel Cabrera, one of the best hitters in the game, when he's looking fastball, 2-0, and you throw a fastball by him,
foul back, 2-2. Kahn last pitch on the 28th. It was against the Washington Nationals. Went 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. So he covered all the bases. Picked up his first save of the season, 2nd of his career on that road trip against the Florida Marlins. 2-2. Upstairs, full count. Michael's been up since June the 20th when he got recalled from AAA Salt Lake. Victor Martinez on deck. 3-2, and he lost it. Lead off walk. And this is what a leadoff walk does with a 4-run lead. Pitching coach, phone in hand.
And the frustration, because even if he hits the ball out of the ballpark, he can't hurt you there. It's still a 5-2 ball game.
That means Walden's got to get up. Jordan was up playing catch when the 8th inning started, the bottom of the 8th inning started.
For whatever reason, when an opponent gets that leadoff walk, all of a sudden they feel that they're at the advantage because they feel that a pitcher doesn't have the confidence to throw strikes. Advantage hitter at that point.
Victor Martinez is 0 for 3. Last time up, rolled into a 4-6-3 double play. Swinging first pitch, lifts one in the air toward left center field, tailing back towards Wells. And he'll make the catch for the first out.
Trust your outfielders. We talked about that earlier in the game. All three of these outfielders can cover a ton of ground and make the plays.
Cabrera still at first with 1 out here, and Johnny Peralta stepping up. Peralta 2 for 3. Single to double, an RBI. Boy, just blew that fastball at 95 right by an extremely hot hitter. No balls and 1 strike. Oh, 1. Foul off to the right. No balls, 2 strikes. Oh, 2 pitch. This one out to straightaway center field. Peter Borges drifting back. Busy man tonight, the 2 outs. So the Halos 1 out away from picking up their 5th win on this homestand. And they would stay tied atop the American League West. The Texas Rangers defeating the Baltimore Orioles tonight, 13-4 down in Arlington. Seattle beat Oakland at the Coliseum earlier this afternoon, 2-1 the final in that one. Alex Avila will step to the plate. The Tigers, on the other hand, would drop to 45 and 41. They would lose a game in the standings with Cleveland defeating the Yankees 6-3 tonight. The Tigers would fall into a game and a half, assuming the score holds.
Yeah, just when you think Cleveland's going to start falling apart, they just be playing some much better baseball. They play well in interleague play, as did the Angels. 13-5, the Angels.
Avila fouls it back, and it's 0-2. The Tigers, on the other hand, kind of struggled through interleague, 7-11. An ERA of over 6 through interleague play, even though they hit okay. They had 270 with 25 home runs through interleague play. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Rolled foul, so the count remains at a ball and 2 strikes. Joel Pinheiro looking for his 4th win. That's that last out is recorded. Charlie Furbush, the starter for the Tigers. First major league start for him. Threw the ball well. He gave up 3 runs, 5 hits, including a home run. 4 2/3. He's the pitcher of record for the Tigers. One-two again. Got him swinging. Down goes Avila. Right that baby up as the Angels take game 1 against the Tigers by the final of 5-1.
Boy, all 3 phases by the club tonight were fantastic. Great start by Pinheiro. 12 ground ball outs in his 7 solid innings. Of course, the bullpen did a great job. The power. Vernon Wells hits a home run. Torrey Hunter hits a home run. 9 base hits and some stellar defense. That first win against a very good team, the Detroit Tigers. Coming off a win against the Giants yesterday. Puts it all together and gets the first game of this 3-game series.
Joel Pinheiro is now 4-3 on the season. Charlie Furbush takes a loss. He is now 1-2. The Angels again win it by the final of 5-1. For Mark Kubica and our entire crew here at the Big A, I'm Victor Rojas. Thanking you for watching Angels baseball here on Fox Sports West. Stick around. Angels Live is coming up next.